Hello everyone, and welcome to the Mental Health for Life channel. It is natural for everyone to want to be happy. That is why it may sound strange if I say the topic for this video is people who willingly sabotage their own happiness. You see, there are people in the world who hurt their partners, family members, and friends, and sabotage relationships that are important to themselves. These people often feel deep down that they are not worthy of being happy, and are so anxious about being happy that they sabotage or run away from relationships in order to avoid it. This contradictory behavior is often influenced and developed as a result of painful experiences in childhood, and maybe more specifically, not feeling loved by their parents as children. Are these people doomed to unhappiness for life, though? In this video, we will introduce some characteristics of people who sabotage their own happiness. Number 1. They have a deep-seated belief that they will never feel happy anyway. People who didn't feel loved by their parents when they were children, people who felt like they had no place in their families, and people who suffered from loneliness and hardship don't develop a sense of self-affirmation that makes them feel like they are worthy to live. They might harbor a feeling of resignation towards life, believing that they'll never be happy or that they'll just end up in pain again eventually anyway. Because they grew up without a sense of security, they always live their lives assuming that the worst will happen. They are unable to truly trust people and end up feeling anxious. That is why when these people do find themselves in a situation that makes them happy, they won't just feel happy. They feel anxious about when it will eventually end, which they believe is inevitable. They have a habit of always assuming the worst and believe their happiness won't last, fueling their anxiety. They feel like they are sitting on a ticking time bomb that could go off at any moment, and the only way to avoid it is to sabotage their situation or run. Number 2. They experience a buildup of pressure that explodes. People who lived under the care of watchful but indifferent parents develop a habit of being overly attentive to the people around them, keeping their feelings inside. They suppress their feelings and live lives that please others. However, this suppression has limits, as the pressure that builds up within them will eventually explode. It is this explosion of anger and desperation that often results in the destruction of an important relationship. Number 3. They harbor anxiety about being abandoned. Normally, the more we get to know people, the closer we become to them, and the more secure we feel in that relationship. However, this is not the case for people who have experienced the sudden disappearance or betrayal of a parent in childhood. The closer these people get to someone, the more they become consumed by thoughts of potential betrayal or abandonment. This is called abandonment anxiety. People with abandonment anxiety try to stick to their partner constantly, and when they aren't, they resort to tracking them with phone calls or through social networking sites. They may also prod and test the authenticity of the other person's affection by saying hurtful things on purpose in order to rattle them. The other person may not have betrayed their partner at all, and may begin to feel shackled or hurt. Number 4. They experience a buildup of anxiety that leads to desperation. A person with abandonment anxiety may be paranoid, taking the slightest word or action as evidence that they are beginning to be disliked or considered a nuisance. These highly anxious people may draw feelings of rejection from a simple joke or even a strong tone of voice. They are so sensitive to betrayal that they take even the slightest things as a sign of a relationship's impending destruction. Some people experience desperation and begin to drink heavily or overeat in order to self-soothe. When they become angered, they will seem almost possessed. They will fly into a rage, become verbally abusive, break things, and try to stir up feelings of discomfort in others. This normally reserved and quiet person transforms, and may not remember much, if any of it at all. These are called dissociative symptoms. It is as if, unable to bear the anxiety of abandonment, they surrender control to a demon that is hell-bent on sabotaging any shot at happiness they had at all. If you feel constant emptiness and possess feelings of abandonment anxiety along with dissociative symptoms that cause you to hurt others and yourself, it may be worth considering borderline personality disorder. People with borderline personality disorder often have a developmental bias in their brains, are born with problems in reading other people's feelings, and are hypersensitive to the words and actions of others. People who self-sabotage are fond of thinking no one understands them. They try their best to get along with others, but their insecurity eventually causes them to spin out of control. Moreover, they may not be good at expressing their complicated feelings in words. In the end, they will likely start to lash out, though what they feel deep down is they want you to understand them, because you are important to them. So, how can someone who so self-sabotages their own happiness become happy? The most important thing is for those close to the person to understand the complexity of their feelings that stems from their unhappy upbringing. It may also be necessary for them to make an effort to calmly express their feelings of anxiety in words. For this purpose, it may be a good idea to ask a professional such as a psychologist for help, if they can gain a sense of security in life by having someone who understands their complex state of mind. They will gradually reduce the number of compulsions to sabotage their own happiness. This was the Mental Health for Life channel. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel.